Shalom. All praise be Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Double honors to their apostles, the elders, the GMS, and rule well. Barakathon, all your Akim that's out there is pushing this truth on the four corners of the globe, and all truth, sincerity, and strength of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. GMS Arkansas, this is Stop and Listen. GMS Stop and Listen. Just here to, share information. Keep pushing this word the best way as possible. As we know, hey, this is 2016, a year to push. So, to the best of our ability, we're going to push this truth to America till it's destroyed from inside out. I have an article here that a brother had sent. The water. The brother be sending out the information all the time through the sites. And the one that caught my eye was saying all Americans will receive a microchip implant in 2016. A NBC news segment from an NBA news segment. If you go on there, you can see the video, but I just got the reading from it. It's from snoops.com. It says, the rumor that the provision of the Obamacare required that Americans submit to an implantation of microchips that will read and store retrievable medical information and a host of other personal details is a persistent one. Right? It says it's a persistent one. It says the particular segment focused on ways in which we might safeguard an identity of all those that make each of us unique, addressing in particular the use of biometric technologies that measure and analyze human body characteristics to build an access database of information about individuals for purposes ranging from security identification to recognizing their consumer preferences, which they do that. If you have these Kroger cards or whatnot, when you swipe them, welcome value customer, they already know what you buy. So they know the particular things you like to eat and whatnot. And if you have your phones, like our smartphones are linked into our Gmails and Yahoos and whatnot, you start getting these, like I get these, you start getting emails. If you like healthy eating, you'll start getting those emails, and that way, that's part of that database thing, man. But they trying to take it further, and put a chip in inside your skin, right? So this is a cut to all you Israelites who think that the chip is an embargo and is not going to be put inside your body. It's making mockery of it. It says a potential future technology mentioned at the beginning of the clip was used of chip implemented under the skin that will store important medical information to be retrieved by those responsible for delivering medical care and treatment. But microchips were just one of the several possible biometric technologies surveyed in the segment, along with fingerprints, iris scans, and facial recognition software. In a lot of these movies that they have out, when they need like a code, they not punching code. It's like the iris scans. Or you see movies where you need the fingerprints. What they'll do, they'll just cut off the finger of the other person using fingerprints. And facial recognition, which I just watched a movie last night called Person of Interest. On there, they show you where they do facial recognition. People be walking down the sidewalk, and you see those blocks going around their heads as they're walking. So they can actually zoom in, tap in, and then all your information come up on screen to them. So, CIA and FBI, they're using these facial recognitions now. It says, nowhere did the clip claim or predict all Americans will receive the microchip implant by 2016, any more than the excerpt that, as imagined in 2002 science fiction mystery thriller Minority Report. It says by 2017, retailers will be scanning our irises as we enter their stores to show us promotions tailored to our buying habits and preferences. And it says, in short, NBC simply mentioned the use of microchips for personal ID purposes, along with several other biometric technologies, as something that might come by 2017. They didn't definitely state that it would be a commonplace by then, but they pushing that chip though. They pushing it because a lot of people got it, man. That's what you see on, you just type in YouTube, man, who got the chip or anything done with the chip. People are getting this chip, man. It's a lot of big corporations. The CEOs got it, so you know the workers gonna have it. It's a lot of people getting the chip right now. It says, much less maintain that it would be mandatory provision of daily life in America. It says, and they certainly didn't link any provisions of Obamacare, as the NBC report initially aired 2 years prior to the passage of the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act. All right, so they've been knowing about it, man, for a long time. They're plans, right? But we are not, as 2 Corinthians say, we're not ignorant of Satan's devices, man. We know that the elect know that what's going on, and the Lord's gonna put the spirit on the elect not to receive that chip. But 2/3, you know, you're gonna be set up for that destruction. And here's some medical complications if you actually take the chip. It says, according to the FDA, implantations of the very chip poses potential medical downsides, electrical hazards, MRI incapabilities, adverse tissue reaction. It says, and migration of implant transponder are just a few of the potential risks associated with the very chip ID implant device. According to the October 12, 2004 letter issued to the FDA, you know, 2004, man, that's 12 years ago. It says, according to the FDA primer of medical device interaction with the MRI, electrical currents may be induced in conducive metal implants that can cause potentially severe patient burns. So you get that chip and you go to get your MRI, and then the inside of your hand start burning, or if you got it in your forehead, all your head will start burning up, man. Burn the tissue around it too. So that's the danger, one of the dangers in it, man. It says security risk. One of the security risks, it says, since nearly all implantable chips are unencrypted, they are extremely vulnerable to being read by third-party scanners. By scanning secretly, someone could steal the information on a chip and clone the signal, enabling that person to impersonate a chip individual. This could create security problems for building or computer access, or potentially enabling criminal misuse of medical account held by the unrelated person. Also, the chip could easily be removed from that person, or appendage concerning the device could be removed. It says the Council of Ethnic Judicial Affairs and American Medical Association published report 2007, alleging that the RFID chip implant chips may compromise privacy because there is no assurance of this information contained in the chip can be properly protected. So, you know, it's wide open, man. But you was told not to get it because there's certain legislations that are being passed in certain states that's requiring people that can illegally make people take it, in Wyoming and North Dakota and like Georgia and Oklahoma, but pretty soon they're gonna all be on board. They just putting that out there, so it won't be no scare. But pretty soon they're gonna all be on board, And in the scriptures, we're gonna get the scripture on it. This is Revelations 13 and 16. Because in this article it says, for its religious part, that it is a prophecy in the Bible, right? It states Revelations 13 and 16, so I'm going to get that in the scriptures. Revelations 13 and 16. And he calls us all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, right? And it says he calls it all, both small and great. When you look up the word he calls it is a Greek word, poio, to make ready, to prepare, right? It says to do a thing unto one, to execute. So it's causing all, both small, right? Don't matter of size, little stature, younger kids, it don't matter. Small and great, it don't matter if they of a high stature, right? A great amount of people, a higher ranking stature, and stature of authority, it don't make no difference. Rich and poor, don't matter if it's the bum on the street or Warren Buffett, don't matter. Free and bond, don't matter if they're outside of they can be locked up, right? Because people in the pen, there's certain jakes, them to have 40 and 50 and 60 and 70 and 80 years, all of a sudden they back on the street, like nothing is going on, Some of them don't even have the ankle bracelet, but they probably got the chip. So you have to watch that out there too. It says free and bond, to receive a mark. When you look up the word receive, is didomi, to give something to someone, right? To grant, to give one by accident, to let have, to furnish, to supply, right? To receive a mark, to minister, right? To commit a mark. What's that mark? Charagma 5480, a stamp or an imprinted mark. Of a mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand is the badge of followers, right? It says of Antichrist. So Antichrist means against the anointed. So you for Satan. A marked brand, a graven work. A scratch or etch in the Strong's. A stamp, a badge of servitude. So if you take that mark, you basically putting yourself into slavery, man. In their right hand or in their foreheads, right? And you see the videos where they inserting the you see on the videos, man. Just like you see right here, they're actually inserting the chip with a needle, right? And these chips are small as like a grain of rice. And they're inserting these chips into people's hands. And there is a X-ray. It's by his second finger, right there. So it's out there, man. It's for real. Chip is no embargo. You can joke at it, but it's for real. And the Lord has gave his word on it. And that no man, verse 17, might buy or sell, save he, meaning except he have the mark, right? This badge of servitude in his right hand, his forehead, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name, right? Here is wisdom. So if somebody hears to the ones that understand it, right? Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 636, right? Universal barcode, man. So it's for real. This is Revelations, right? So a lot of you 2/3, you're gonna be misled by a lot of people saying that that's an embargo, or it's not what it is. So you could take that chip if you want, but the Lord has a punishment for that chip. Here's the punishment, Revelations 14:9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship, it says, if any man worship, if you're going to reverence the beast, right? Esau, right? So-called white man in his idolatrous system, and take that chip, it says worship the beast in his image, that chip, and receive his mark, right? In his right hand, or in his forehead, or in his right hand. Verse 10, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture. And that's the wine of the wrath of the Most High, is that thermonuclear destruction, those missiles right there, right? This is the wrath of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua right there. That's the Lord's wrath right there, poured out without mixture, you know. Because when you drink strong wine without being mixed, you have what's called dregs, right? And those dregs are strong, man. So it says it's poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. Indignation is righteous anger. And he shall be tormented with the fire and the brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. So if you take that chip, you will be destroyed, man. The Lord is going to actually destroy you with these missiles, man. This is going to be your destruction. Your final destruction. You know? So with that, man, I hope this lesson was edifying. All praise be to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well. And Barakatham and all you Akim that's out there is pushing this truth, and all sincerity and strength to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. GMS, stop and listen. With that, Shalom.